5 years, we've been lied to. Automakers promised the $25,000 electric car, but gave us $80,000 trucks instead. That ends now. 2026 is the year the bubble finally bursts. Battery prices are crashing, the charging network is standardizing, and the price war is officially here. I've found 10 specific cars hitting the road by 2026 that normal people can actually afford. One is a total apology from GM, one is a vaporware ghost we've been chasing for years, and one is so cheap it might actually be illegal. Let's get into it. We have to start with the comeback king. If you follow the industry, you know that General Motors made a massive, embarrassing mistake when they killed the original Bolt EV and EUV. They looked at the sales charts, saw that people wanted huge trucks, and decided to axe their only affordable, successful electric car. The backlash was instant. Dealers were furious, customers were confused, and GM realized they had just handed the entry-level market to their competitors on a silver platter. That is why the 2026 Bolt isn't just a new model year, it is an apology. Unlike the old Bolt, which was built on the archaic BEV2 platform, this new version is jumping straight to the Ultium architecture. Why does that matter to you? 2 reasons: charging speed and packaging. The old Bolt was a great car, but it charged at 50 kilowatts. In the real world, that meant sitting at a charger for an hour to get enough juice to get home. It was painful. The new Ultium-based Bolt should easily double or triple that speed, making it a viable road tripper for the first time. We are also expecting this to be the first affordable GM car to launch with the NACS port natively installed. That means no dongles, no adapters. You pull up to a Tesla supercharger, you plug in, and it works. GM CEO Mary Barra has confirmed this will be an LFP battery vehicle, which is how they are going to hit that price target. We are looking at a projected starting price of $29,000. When you factor in the federal tax credit at the point of sale, you could be driving a brand new 300-mile range EV for just over 20 grand. That isn't just a good deal. That is the value benchmark that every other car on this list has to beat. Speaking of benchmarks, we have to address the elephant in the room, the ghost, the Tesla Model 2, or whatever Elon decides to call it this week. We have been hearing about the $25,000 Tesla since Battery Day in 2020. It has been delayed, rumored to be canceled, and then revived again. But leaked supply chain reports suggest production is finally slated for late 2025 or early 2026 under the codename Redwood. Here is the controversy. To hit that price tag, Tesla has to do something radical. They call it the unboxed manufacturing process. Instead of building a car like a sandwich bottom up, they are building separate modules and snapping them together at the last second. This cuts factory footprint by 40% and cost by 50%. But what does that mean for you as a driver? It means minimalism taken to the extreme. If you thought the Model 3 was sparse, wait until you see this. We are talking about no rear screen, manual vents likely making a comeback, and a simplified interior that uses fabric instead of vegan leather to save pennies. Performance-wise, expect a 53 kilowatt-hour LFP battery pack, good for about 250 to 270 miles of range. It won't be a plaid speed rocket ship, but it will have the best software in the industry and full access to the supercharger network. If this car actually launches in 2026, it effectively kills the used Model 3 market overnight. Why buy a used car with 50,000 miles when you can get a brand new Redwood for the same price? That is the question keeping other CEOs awake at night. While Tesla is busy reinventing the assembly line, Kia is busy actually building cars. And the Kia EV3 might be the smartest move they have ever made. Look at it. It is essentially the massive 3-row EV9 flagship just shrunk in the wash. This is the baby flagship strategy. Kia knows that people love the boxy, cyberpunk look of the EV9, but most people can't park a tank in their garage, nor can they afford a $70,000 SUV. The EV3 is built on a modified version of the eGMP platform. Now, here is the technical catch. Unlike the EV6 and Ioniq 5, which are 800-volt architectures, the EV3 is likely running on a 400-volt system to save cost. That means it won't charge in 18 minutes like its big brothers. You are probably looking at a 10 to 80% time of around 30 minutes. Not class leading, but totally acceptable for the price. And what a price it is. Kia is targeting $35,000. For that money, you are getting one of the most practical interiors in the segment. Kia is bringing over the relaxation seats that recline almost flat and a sliding console table that lets you eat your lunch comfortably while you charge. They are also prioritizing efficiency over raw power. By using a front-wheel drive setup and an aerodynamic focus, they are squeezing over 300 miles out of a relatively small battery pack. It's not a drift machine, it's a dedicated high-tech daily driver that looks like it drove off the set of a sci-fi movie. Next up, we have to talk about the OG, the grandfather of the modern electric car, the Nissan Leaf. For the last decade, the Leaf has been a bit of a tragic figure. It started the revolution, and then Nissan let it rot. It stuck with air-cooled batteries that degraded in the heat, and it clung to the CHAdeMO charging plug long after the rest of the world moved on. Buying a Leaf in 2024 was like buying a Betamax player. But for 2026, the Leaf is finally growing up. Forget the dorky, egg-shaped hatchback look. The new Leaf is morphing into a sleek crossover coupe, heavily inspired by the chill-out concept car Nissan showed us a while back. It's lower, wider, and significantly better looking. But the most critical upgrade is under the metal. Nissan is finally ditching CHAdeMO. The 2026 Leaf will come with the standard NACS port. This changes everything. Suddenly, the Leaf goes from being a city-only grocery getter to a car you can actually take on a road trip without getting stranded at a broken Electrify America station. We are also expecting a switch to liquid-cooled batteries, which means the rapid gate charging, throttling issues of the past should be gone forever. If Nissan can price this right around the $28,000 mark, they might just reclaim their crown. But they are fighting an uphill battle to regain the trust they lost over the last 10 years. This next car was supposed to be the chosen one, the Volvo EX30. It was supposed to be here already, but tariffs and software delays pushed the US launch back, landing it squarely in our 2026 comparison list. This is the delayed promise. On paper, the specs are absolutely insane. The twin-motor performance version puts out over 400 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. That is supercar territory. And the base single-motor version starts around $35,000. You are getting Swedish safety heritage and rocket ship acceleration for the price of a nicely equipped Toyota Camry. So where's the catch? The catch is inside. To hit that price point, Volvo cut costs ruthlessly. There is no instrument cluster, no heads-up display, your speed, your range, your blind spot warnings, everything is on the center screen. They even removed the speakers from the doors and replaced them with a soundbar on the dashboard to save on wiring. The window switches are in the center console, the glove box is in the center screen menus. It is an ergonomic nightmare for some people. And then there is the back seat, or rather, the lack of one. If you are over 6 feet tall, you cannot sit behind yourself. This is a subcompact crossover in the truest sense. But if you are a single commuter or a couple with no kids and you want the fastest, most stylish car for the least amount of money, the EX30 is unbeatable. Just make sure you test drive it first to see if you can live with the touchscreen obsession. If the Volvo is for the city speed demon, the Rivian R2 is for the person who owns a golden retriever and spends their weekends at REI. This is easily the most hyped vehicle on this list, and for good reason. Rivian looked at their $80,000 R1S, which is arguably the best SUV on the road right now, and asked, how do we shrink this? The R2 is the result. It keeps the iconic stadium headlights, the boxy silhouette, and the adventurous spirit, but shrinks it down to the size of a Tesla Model Y. The engineering here is fascinating. Rivian is using a structural battery pack with new 4695 cylindrical cells. That means they are 46 millimeters wide and 95 millimeters tall. These bigger cells offer better energy density and cooling, which is crucial for towing and off-roading. Feature-wise, they kept the things that make a Rivian special. All the seats, including the front ones, fold completely flat, so you can inflate an air mattress and sleep in the car. The rear glass pops open for airflow or for carrying long lumber or surfboards. The starting price is targeted at $45,000. That is a stretch affordable car, but considering it competes with luxury adventure vehicles, it's a steal. The biggest risk here is Rivian's financial health. They are burning cash and they need the R2 to be a massive volume hit to survive. When you buy an R2 in 2026, you are voting for Rivian's future. We talked about the Bolt earlier, but we cannot ignore its big brother, the Chevy Equinox EV. Now, I know what you're saying, Nick, this car is already out, and you're right, but the launch was messy and the cheap versions were nowhere to be found. By 2026, the true volume seller, the base LT trim, priced at $35,000, will finally be in full mass production. This car isn't trying to be cool. It isn't trying to be a rocket ship. It is trying to be normal. It offers 319 miles of range on the front-wheel drive model. It has a spacious back seat, a normal trunk, and it looks like a regular gas crossover. It runs on Google built-in, which means your maps and Spotify are native to the car, though it does mean you lose Apple CarPlay, which is a massive controversial point for GM right now. The charging speed peaks at 150 kilowatts. Compared to the Hyundai and Kia models that hit 230 kilowatts, the Equinox is a bit slow. It's going to take you about 30 to 40 minutes to charge on a road trip, but for the average family who charges at home 90% of the time, this is the Honda CR-V of electric cars. Boring, practical, and a phenomenal value after the tax credit. Let's pivot to something that is the complete opposite of boring, the new Mini Cooper SE. This is the City Slicker. The previous electric Mini was fun, but it was practically useless as a primary car because it only had 100 miles of range. You couldn't even leave the suburbs without getting anxiety. The new 2026 generation fixes the battery size, pushing the range closer to 200 miles. Now, 200 miles is still low compared to the 300 miles you get in a Bolt or Equinox, but you don't buy a Mini for the spec sheet, you buy it for the vibe. The interior is completely wild. It features a massive circular OLED screen right in the middle of the dash. It's the first of its kind in the industry. The dashboard is covered in knitted fabric made from recycled materials, and it has experience modes that change the sound, the lighting, and the throttle response. It is designed to make you smile. This car is built on a dedicated EV platform developed in partnership with Great Wall Motors, meaning the packaging is way better than the old converted gas chassis. If you live in a tight city like San Francisco or New York, and you want a car that can dart through traffic and fit in impossible parking spots, this is the one. Just don't plan on driving it cross country without a lot of patience. Now, we have reached the wild card of the list, the VinFast VF3. If you thought the Mini was small, look at this thing. It is 10 feet long. It looks like a Suzuki Jimny had a baby with a Lego brick. It is a two-door, boxy, tiny SUV that is targeted to sell for under $20,000. That makes it the cheapest car on this list by a massive margin. The VF3 is a phenomenon in Vietnam, and VinFast is determined to bring it to the US. It has a targeted range of about 125 miles. It is strictly a city runabout. You use this to get to work, to get groceries, and to park in spaces that motorcycles would hesitate to use. But we have to talk about the risk. VinFast's launch in the US was rocky, to be polite. The VF8 reviews were brutal, citing software bugs, suspension issues, and safety chimes that wouldn't stop beeping. Buying a VF3 is a gamble. You are betting that the company will improve its quality control and that they will still be around to service the car in 5 years. However, for a brand new EV under 20 grand, there is a segment of the market that just wants cheap transportation and doesn't care about the rest. If VinFast can actually deliver this car at that price point, it creates a new segment entirely, the disposable EV. Finally, let's end on the rational choice, the Hyundai Kona Electric. The Kona isn't a brand new model, but the 2026 refresh is a critical moment. This update will bring the NACS port natively to the vehicle and likely see aggressive price cuts to fight off the impending threat of the Kia EV3. The Kona has always been the Goldilocks car. It's not as fast as the Volvo, it's not as big as the Equinox, but it does everything well. It has one of the best efficiency ratings in the business, meaning you get more miles per kilowatt hour than almost anything else. The software is snappy, the buttons are physical, thank you Hyundai for keeping real climate controls, and the warranty is the best in the business. One annoyance to note, the charging port is on the front nose. In winter, this can get iced over, and if you have a minor fender bender, your charging port is toast. But aside from that quirk, the Kona is the adult in the room. If the VinFast scares you and the Tesla feels too sterile, the Kona is the safe bet that you won't regret buying. So, is 2026 the year you finally make the switch? For the first time in history, we aren't just choosing between a $100,000 luxury toy and a glorified golf cart. We have real, distinct choices. If you want speed and style, you get the Volvo. If you want unbeatable value and range, you get the Chevy Bolt. If you want to live the adventure lifestyle, you stretch for the Rivian. And if you want to gamble on the absolute lowest price, you look at the VinFast. Here is my verdict. If you need a car right now, look for deals on the current inventory of Equinox EVs. But if you can wait, hold out for the Rivian R2 or the next-gen Bolt. The price war has just started, and the automakers are sweating. That means the only winner is you. Hit that like button if you're tired of overpriced cars, subscribe so you don't miss our full review of the Bolt when it drops, and I'll see you in the next one.